Hi everyone. Today we're looking at the idea of separation, of being a separate, distinct individual. And it looks like that feeling of separation and that feeling of perhaps isolation or being different or being alone or dealing with things that other people don't understand or not comparing to others in some way, not being able to join in or to have what other people have. All of that looks to be true because of what is seen out there. So it looks like I'm feeling separate because this is happening. Or equally, it might be because there's something about me. There's something about me that's different, or there's something happening out there that is showing that I'm not the same as them. I'm not part of that. I'm out here on my own somehow. And as long as that looks to be the case, then what has to happen is that I have to change whatever it is that's making me different, or they have to change, or my circumstances have to change, or there has to be some shift out there, or in myself, in the things that are true about me, and then I won't feel so separate. I won't feel so different and isolated. And so, from that space, we embark on this quest to reintegrate ourselves, or we think about that quest, but it seems so hopeless and difficult. Or we embark on it and we try and change ourselves, or we try and change the world, we try and change circumstances, or every time we think about it, even we're just fully hopeless and helpless because it seems such a struggle, so impossible, because the gulf seems to be so great between me and them. And illness, mental or physical, can play a big part in that. It can become the evidence of difference, or the evidence of separation, or the evidence of why I can't just be immersed in the world and be complete with the world, why I'm apart. So it looks rock solid, doesn't it? It's like incontrovertible. It's like, bam, there might be prescriptions and diagnoses and medical notes, all sorts of stuff. There might be obvious get-togethers. There might be obvious restrictions on what we can physically do that prevent us doing what other people, obvious, like rock solid, obvious. I'm different, I'm separate, I'm isolated in this, I am not complete, I'm not part of this wholeness of life. And so there's enormous lack in that, because underneath that, what is known is absolute completeness. The absolute is what is known underneath. And so this feeling of lack, this feeling of missing out, of missing something, is intolerable. So it fuels the search, it fuels the discomfort. But what we're going to look at, and again, all these things might be so confronting, and they're said with love, really, they're said with so much love and understanding. What we're going to look at is that the idea of separation and the world or the people from which we seem to be separate all arise in the same moment of thought. It's not that this is absolute rock solid evidence of why I feel like this. It's in separation, in a thought of separation, in a belief in the individual, there has to be an other. There has to be a separate world that seems to exist independently of that self. Do you see that? So at the surface level of self, it looks like cause and effect. Because they're being like this, or because I can't do that, or because I'm different, I feel separate. Because of that, then this. We're seeing not at all. The whole thing arises out of a belief or out of a thought. There's me and there's them, and it's all made of the same thing. It all arises simultaneously. And then it's gone. Then it's gone. And what is the self and the other then? It doesn't exist. It's just gone. And then it's back. And it's maybe slightly different, back in a different way, and then it's gone, and then back, gone, back, like this. Arising, a self and other separate, and then gone. And we might have experienced this. Like maybe we've been in a group or something where there's been a thought, like a sort of jarring thought of resistance or irritation, or not feeling lack or feeling other, and then that just disappears. It completely goes. Something, just like there's a flow, and then all of that's just gone, and then it's back again. So what we're saying is that it's very natural and very easy and very obvious and very learned to unquestionably accept this appearance that I'm feeling different and separate because of these things. And yet it's really not true. That's not what's going on. Those things don't exist separately from the idea of self. They're all made in that same moment of creation. So it's far, far truer to say an idea of self arises simultaneously with an idea of a separate other. It's the same thing, and then it's gone. And this is true even for those things that would seemingly mark us out as so distinct, so utterly different from other people. It's the same thing. The thought of distinction is only a thought. The thought of an identity that is founded on difference is only a fixation in that moment of one element out of infinite elements. It's just an arising, and it's a focus, and on really on a randomly believed aspect. So the idea of separation looks fundamentally true, but we're seeing how transient it is, how randomly based it is, how continually transforming, continually appearing, disappearing it is. Whereas the underneath of that, which is just that space, it is just that presence. It's the that moment of no commentary of separation. That's all. Is so much more clearly who we are. It's constant, it's stable, it's ever there, it's unchanging, it's yeah, it's beyond all of those words, isn't it? It's beyond any concept of anything. So it's quite a big one, this, because especially when, you know, because the self, it feels like it has to be separate, and that in the separation somehow lies its identity. So this pushing away and this distracting and this seeking out is trying to turn the self into a thing. It's trying, in a way, misguidedly trying to make itself a thing, isn't it? Make itself believable as something. So it would be very natural that symptoms and illness and experiences become collected into that idea of self as this is who I am. And so therefore this video might confront that a little bit, and so there might be a pushback saying, you know, sort of back off, you know, you don't get me, you don't understand me, you don't understand what I've been through, which is natural because it's a defense of what we believe makes us us. It's very natural, and maybe as those defenses perhaps soften a little, there might be this chink of space perhaps to see that experiences and identity and labels and diagnoses and symptoms can never, ever, ever be what we are. They cannot be what we are. They are essentially ever changing, entirely affected by belief and thought, state of mind. You know, there's no center to them. There's no solidity to them, no matter how solid they appear. They cannot be who we are. Who we are is the space in which it appears, is the awareness that gives light to these ideas. So it doesn't in any way deny the experiences. It doesn't deny the suffering or the pain at all. It doesn't do that. It does say that's not who you are. That identity is not you. You're the presence to that identity, and the identity is ever changing, the presence never. Yeah. Oh, I hope this has been okay, this one. I realise it might be one of those what Anna said about in previous courses, watching videos with the time to hand, so maybe one of those ones, but we'll see. All right. Big love. Bye.